Hello everyone, welcome back. If you are new to my channel, hit subscribe. Your subscription will motivate me to produce more video in better quality. In this video, what we are going to see is branching policy. So for this purpose, I have created a repository and added two simple HTML pages. And what are the changes I'm going to make? I'm going to do right away in the portal, but in real time, you will be doing it from the Visual Studio or Eclipse. So you will be doing it from your favorite studio, and then in a real time you will be having multiple users as well, right? Not to simulate that, I have created four users. The first one is 𝗛𝗲𝗿𝗲, which is having logo C, and you have IT, which is Indian Cloud Tech. And if you go here, you see Casey, this is 𝗛𝗲𝗿𝗲, and the last one T, which is Tendril. So we have four different accounts. So now let's get back here. So now to get started with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a branch and I'm going to make some changes in it, and I'm going to raise a pull request. So since it is so simple, I'm going to fast forward this content. So now we have the pull request to merge the changes from feature branch to main branch. Since we do not have any policy in the main branch, now itself I'm able to complete the merge. Let's add some policies to the main branch and see what will happen to this pull request. In order to do that, just go to project settings, and under the repositories, go to the repository and click on policies. These are repository policies. This we have covered in our last video. If you haven't watched them, please do watch. Now let's proceed to branch policies. Select the branch where you want to add the policy. Main branch. Currently we are in main branch, and we are setting up the policy for the main branch. If you want to set policy for other branches, you can select right away from here. Now let's concentrate about main branch. And here you see required a minimum number of reviewers. Whenever you are submitting a pull request, it requires reviewers to be approved. So I'm setting the count to 2. Let's see what will happen to the pull request. If you refresh, it is supposed to show a pop-up like it requires 2 reviewers to be approved, but it is not showing. I guess it's a cache issue. Let me try to complete it. It won't get completed. It will show error for sure. See, it is clearly showing up an error, and now the pop-up is showing up properly. 2 reviewers must approve. Okay, let me refresh. 2 reviewers must approve. So what I'm going to do, let me go to Indian's account and let's navigate to pull request and go to active. So these are active pull requests which are displaying over there. Let me select it. And here if you see, you will get multiple option. Approve, approve with suggestion. You can approve with some suggestion, and you can wait for the other. Let's say for example, you have a telephonic call with him and say, hey, there is something not good with the code, do some changes. Or you can simply reject it, or you can decline to review. So you have multiple options here. So as of now, let me approve it. So one person have approved. Now let's get back to the same account where we have raised the pull request. So this is 𝗛𝗲𝗿𝗲. So let me try to approve it. So even though 2 people have approved, it is still showing 2 reviewers must approve, right? Because by default, DevOps doesn't allow the request itself to approve the changes. So where it is? So here if you see, allow requester to approve their own changes. This is disabled. This is not yet checked, right? So once you check it, now if you go and refresh, see, now 2 reviewers have been approved. Now it is taking 𝗛𝗲𝗿𝗲 approval as well. And if you notice here, 2 of them it is showing an optional. There is a separate option called as required. So what if we by default add some of the user as the approvers? Let's say for example, it could be your TL or some senior developer. So because Indian could be a junior as well, right? So let's make a policy to be approved only by senior developer. So who are the senior developer? In my case, 𝗛𝗲𝗿𝗲 is a senior developer. So for sure it requires her approval, and Tendril is a senior approval. Let's make 2 of them as required reviewers. In order to do that, just go here, and so just for demo purpose, let me make it as 1. I will come to this why I make it as 1, and let's go over here and create 2 reviewers. So first one is Tendril and next is 𝗛𝗲𝗿𝗲. So here I'm making both of them as required, and for pull request affecting this folder. So whether you want to make this reviewers only for any specific folder. So whenever a pull request is raised for the specific folder, do you want to add this automatic reviewers, or is it affecting everything? If you want to affect everything on the specified repository specific branch, then leave it as blank. And here you get another option, allow requester to approve their own changes. That is what we just saw right over here, and here also it is available. Let's save it. And here if you see, we have set it one, and here there are two requests. So what will happen, right? So let's go over here, refresh. See, even though you have set it here one, now this is taking up the priority, meaning like the required reviewers is taking up uh, the priority, and you are supposed to get approval from these two people. So what if I try to remove this? So let me try to remove them from here. See, it is implementing and it is clearly saying reviewers were added by the policy. You need to change the policy to do so. So now, but I can remove Indian approval, and even I can remove my own approval. So that is fine, but you can't remove this. You need to change up the policy. And if you want to look at the policy, just select here and click on view policy. It will automatically redirect you right over here. So since we have covered this, let me disable this. Let's go to the other. So now let's go with the other option. Prohibit the most recent pusher from approving the own changes. So let's say, for example, in this scenario, who have raised the commit, 𝗲𝗿𝗿𝗲. Requester is 𝗲𝗿𝗿𝗲, but in the same feature branch, if someone else make the changes, it will appear in the same pull request, and that person will appear here. Requester will be 𝗲𝗿𝗿𝗲, but the recent pusher will be some other person. Let's show what it is. So let's go over here. What is this? This is Indian account. Let me make some changes. So let's switch to the feature branch and let's make some changes. Now, now let's go back to pull request and let's go to active. Now let's refresh this. It is still showing two required reviewers. I guess now we can remove it, since that is removed as a part of policy. We can remove it easily. Maybe I should have done it initially. See, now it is looking for only one reviewer. Now let me try to approve it. Now it got approved. But what if you want to prevent this? Maybe the person whoever committed last is not supposed to provide approval. So in that case, let's switch back here. Let's go here in the policies, prohibit the most recent pusher from approving their own changes. I'm enabling this. So let's go over here and refresh. See, it is Indian have provided approval, but it is still looking for approval, right? So that is what this specific option will be doing. Now, let's talk about allow completion even if reviewers wanted to wait or reject. So let's say, for example, what I'm going to do is, let's first refresh from 𝗲𝗿𝗿𝗲. Let me approve it. Okay, it got approved. Before approval, what happened is 𝗲𝗿𝗿𝗲 have came to this pull request, and what she did is she observed some issue with it. So what she is highlighting is, she is saying this is the right email ID. It should be def@cloudtech.com instead of def@gmail.com. So now if you go to overview section, you will refresh. Once you refresh it, you will get to see 𝗲𝗿𝗿𝗲 command. 𝗲𝗿𝗿𝗲 added this command, and she's waiting, saying, hey, I just saw your changes and I'm waiting for, I just, instead of providing approval, I'm just giving, waiting for author. So now let's go back here, and if we try to complete it, it will show 𝗲𝗿𝗿𝗲 is still waiting for the author. So that is what this policy will do. So it is clearly saying 𝗲𝗿𝗿𝗲 𝗲𝗿 is waiting for the author. It is blocking. So in case if you do not want to get blocked, allow completion even if some of the reviewers were to wait or reject, you can enable this option. So let me uncheck it. Let me uncheck this as well, and let's keep it minimal. Let me do a cleanup. Let me remove this. Okay, fine. Let's refresh and come back here. Okay. The next is when new changes are pushed. So if you enable this, you will get to see 4 different options. I will come to this later. As of now, let me proceed with these options, and at the end of the video, I'll cover this one. And now let's see about comment resolution. So comment resolution is required. If you remember, Carcolili have made a comment, right? And let me, if you see here, this is still inactive. This is still inactive and it is not yet resolved. So I just enabled this. So if a comment have been made, we need to resolve the command, then only it will proceed. So let me refresh. Let me approve it. See, comments must be resolved. So let me come over here. I see there is some issue. So Carcoli is clearly saying this is the proper email ID. So what I'm going to do, let me go to the files. Let me make some changes. I just made it. Let me come over to the pull request. So Cloud Tech Ram have fixed it. So now this issue is fixed, right? So I'm just saying issue was fixed. Now reply and then resolve. So I just resolved it, or else you can reply and you can wait for Calculate to resolve it. So let me refresh. See, now everything is done. So that is what comment resolution will do. And you see check for linked item, right? Let me enable it. Now if you refresh and if you try to complete it, it will show error. What is the second check? If you just view that, work item must be linked. So if you see here, for any work you are doing, you will be using boards, right? From the boards, you will be picking up, hey, this is the user story I'm going to work on. These are the changes. And for this pull request, you have an option to link with the specific user story. So I just made it mandatory. In order to link it, just select it. And this is the user story. You can type the ID of the user story. I just created it, so that is the reason it is appearing up here. So I just selected this user story and it have been linked now. Now if you refresh, both issue got resolved. Now, what are the other policies? So limit merge types. So if you see here, you will get to see multiple merge, right? Similarly, I have already covered what are these in a separate video. If you haven't watched them, I'll be providing the video URL in the description. So what if I want only merge and then squash commit? So in order to configure that, just go over here and you can just I just removed the rebase and I have kept only these two merge types. So now let's cancel this. Now if you click on complete, let me try to complete it. Now see, another policy now falls into the picture. Now if I try to see, cache got refreshed and it is saying forbidden by policy. Now I can select either squash commit or merge. So let me select squash commit and let me complete it. Now once this merging completes, everything will get moved to main branch. Yeah, it got completed. Now, so now let me remove these policies as we have covered already. Now let's talk about when new changes have been pushed. So this policy will come into effect whenever you are trying to push any new commits into the existing pull request. So let me select this. So you will get to see 4 options. In order to explain this, let me create a new branch, make some changes and raise a new pull request. So let me switch to Indian account and let me do from there. So now we have one pull request, and what I'm going to do is let's switch over here, and in these 4 options I'm going to select reset all words. Do not reset words to reject or wait. Okay, I'm just selecting it. So first let me go to Carcolelli account and go to active pull request and approve it. Carcolelli approved. Okay, this is fine. And Now what I'm going to do is, let me go to Cloud Tech ROM account and let me go to active pull request. And here what I'm going to do is, I'm going to provide it as wait for author. I'm just waiting. I asked some changes for the user to make, and I'm just waiting for it. So now what Inian is doing is, he is coming back here. As I discussed with him, he is going there and he's making some changes. So now let's go back to the pull request, and if you refresh it, Carculi's approval have been removed and it is only maintaining mine, because we have selected reset all the votes except reject or wait. And if you have selected reset all the votes, then it would have reset the CloudText ROM's review as well. So now let's get back here, and now these two are kind of having a minor difference. So before proceeding this, I like to tell you that I'm planning to take up a live session on Azure DevOps. It is going to be maybe 1 or 2 hour session, and it is going to be a paid group session. And if you are interested, just comment interested in the comment box, and I will pick up any 5 random users and provide free coupon for the group session. Follow me on LinkedIn, Telegram, and WhatsApp for further notifications. So now let's proceed with this option, required at least one approval on last iteration. So now let's go back here. Let me approve it anyway. So now let's switch to Indian account, and here let me make some more changes. And just iteration in the sense, first commit is one iteration, second commit is one iteration, third commit is one iteration. So I'm just making some random commits. Let's go over here. See, it is looking at least one reviewer besides most recent pusher. So who is the most recent pusher? Indian. Even if Indian approves, it won't count. We need to approve from some other account. So Cloud Telegram is providing approval now. So first iteration completed, I just provide approval. So for further commits as well, it will keep on asking approval as such. So that is what this is. So every time the vote will reset and we need to approve. And the last is required at least one approval on every iteration. So for this I have tried multiple times, so it is behaving differently at every time. So thing is that what is happening is, at some point of time it is asking for one more approval. Even if I click multiple times, it is not working. Then I had to remove approval from here, then I need to reapprove, then it is working fine. There are various blogs as well discussing about this, but from my perspective, do not waste much time around this. Just select either this option or these three. So this one I'm finding difficult to understand. If you find the way to differentiate between these two, just let me know in the comment. Maybe I can produce a separate short video on it. So next, the last part is build validation. So build validation. So whenever you are making any changes on main branch or any specific branch, if you have configured any pipeline, it will run. And I have created one separate pipeline for it. Let me go there. So this is the pipeline which I have created, and if you see, I just disable trigger, so which will trigger for every single branches. So let me go here, and it automatically showing up the build pipeline which is available. And in case if I want to add any path related filter, I can do so. And so whenever source branch is updated, it will automatically trigger the validation, or in case if you want to uh, run any manual trigger, we can do so. And and here, this is the policy part. If, let's say for example, if the build failed, do you want to stop from merging the changes? Yes, then select record. Optional means even though if build got failure, you can able to complete the pull request, but I request you to enable as required, because it doesn't make any sense to make it optional, and using this option make it as optional. And build expiration, and here is the expiration part. And do you want to wait for this many hour, you can set it here. Let me save it. And now let me make some changes in this. Let me make some changes. And if you go to the pull request, And if you see this, the build is being queued and it is waiting for this completion. Once it is completed, then only we will be able to proceed. And that's it on this video. If you find this video helpful, do subscribe and don't miss out to follow me on LinkedIn, Telegram and WhatsApp channels. And thank you. Bye bye. See you again on the next video.